Hello and welcome to this webinar. Today we want to talk about a super exciting topic, which is mobile money fraud. It will be naturally focused on Africa. We will taking a couple of minutes to wait for more attendees to join. So I know we're a little bit late, but give us an extra minute and we'll start. Okay, quick introduction. So Mahmoud Al-Sibai will speak at this webinar to explain to us the attacks, the mitigation, how we can take preventive actions. I will be speaking. Mahmoud has over 14 years of experience in RAN, experience in pre-sales, and cybersecurity. I have around 20 years of experience in telco, VAS, SMS, firewalls, and so on. Let me go straight to the topic. Today, the agenda we will cover is, number one, give you some insights to explain how the mobile money is driving the financial inclusion. 70% of the transactions are in Africa. We'll go through some data. Mainly GSMA is the main source. So naturally, with the convenience of mobile money, there are some risks associated. And the study says that near 50% never audited their mobile money security. Mahmoud will cover the attack surface with the type of attacks, mainly focused on SMS, USSD, and radio. We picked two showcases. One is Ewallet fraud, the other is subscriber identity cloning over RAN. And we'll cover the program that we just launched based on rising demand from the market that we received. We talk a little bit about the audit, how we can do this assessment. And Mahmoud will explain the mitigations. So just 1 minute to talk about our broader vision on securing mobile networks. We believe that to implement full security to mobile network, you need inspection, detection, and protection. So if we were to put this in relation to what we are covering today, is the inspection. Keep in mind that not all the technologies have to be protected using firewall. It can sometimes be a mix of good measures, preventive measures, and configurations of the network. So I'll give you some market insight. So mobile money is undergoing rapid growth by improved access to technologies. The original obstacle were the access to the traditional financial service, and the COVID also gave it a boost. Mobile money is one of the payment trends in Africa, have been a game changer in a region where traditional banking is not accessible to a large part of the population. The interesting fact is that, I personally perceive it as a very interesting alternative to the traditional to the traditional financial institution. Until now, we faced many financial crises, but we never heard about the mobile money financial crisis. So that's an interesting fact, right? Another reason is the considerable penetration of mobile subscribers in Africa. So in some territories, we have 2 mobile devices per user. Bit of numbers. So today we have around 166 live services West competing with the East. So 66 live services in the West, 56 in the East. The transaction value is around 800 billion. That's in terms of money quantification. The volume, so we have around 45 billion of transaction. This is 2022, by the way. Around 781 million registered accounts. So that's quite interesting numbers. In talking about it in terms of security. So very simple list of events. Major MNO in Nigeria reported a fraud quantified at 53 million. So that's 2 months after launching their mobile money. In Kenya, there have been a report of fraud of 4 million, knowing that 30 million people in Kenya are using mobile money. I think it's quite considered to be a leader country with very popular services. Now, two interesting facts is that most of those were reported, most of the fraud were reported through call centers, so 96% were reported through call centers. So that's why awareness, prevention are essential factors here. Other interesting fact is that GSMA study is reporting that 49% have never conducted a formal risk assessment. So this is why we saw really like this is a topic of a very hot topic. So I will hand over to Mahmoud. He will deep dive into the attack scenarios and how we can mitigate them.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. And as you know, Mahmoud Sbai, I'm a senior pre-sales engineer on Security Gen and responsible for the pre-sales activities on the EMEA region. So continue what Ahmed was saying about the importance of the mobile money service and how it can be with the fact that it has several transactions, and these transactions can be impacted, of course, with some attack types related to the telecom infrastructure. So let's identify what is the attack surfaces, what is the attack types that can impact the mobile money service. So in this slide, we are looking at the complex network infrastructure that supports mobile money service and other services as well, like the VoLTE, like the 5G. It's important to highlight two critical attack vectors, the SS7 signaling protocol and the radio access network. Starting from the SS7 signaling protocol, which is essential for the communication, enabling short messages and USSD. However, it has significant vulnerabilities that attackers can exploit to intercept SMS messages, which are often used to deliver one-time password for mobile money transaction. Another tactic involves manipulating USSD codes to unauthorizedly access account information or initiate fraudulent activity. Talking about the other attack vector, which is the RAN, or the area interface, which connects mobile devices to the core networks, where attackers can exploit weaknesses here to intercept communications or inject malicious data. And by compromising the RAN, fraudsters can perform attacks such as man-in-the-middle, where they can eavesdrop or alter the communications between users and the network. So understanding these attack vectors is crucial for developing effective security measures. And as we continue, we'll discuss how to mitigate these risks and protect mobile money transactions from such vulnerabilities. So in the scope of signaling and radio, mobile money service face several significant risks and threats. One major threat is the fraudulent, of course, transactions, where attackers can intercept signaling messages, allowing them to manipulate transactions, which leads to unauthorized fund transfers or access to accounts. This manipulation of transaction not only cause financial losses, but also undermines user trust in the mobile money services. Another critical threat is identity theft, where vulnerabilities in signaling can be exploited by attackers to steal user identities. And once they have these information, they can perform unauthorized transactions or access sensitive user data, further compromising this integrity, of course, of the service. Denial of service also attacks, where attacks are also serious concern, and attackers can flood signaling channels, disrupting the service availability for victim users. And this disruption can lead to significant financial losses due to the unavailability of the service, and affecting both users and providers. Also, weaknesses in the radio protocols poses another risk by enabling unauthorized access to mobile money systems. When attackers exploit these weaknesses, they can compromise both security and privacy, gaining access to sensitive information and potentially causing widespread damage. Also, man-in-the-middle attacks are sophisticated form of this threat where attackers intercept and modify signaling messages between mobile devices and service providers. And actually, this allows them to tamper with the transaction or steal data, posing severe risks to the integrity and the confidentiality of the mobile money service. Billing fraud, another type of attacks facilitated by signaling vulnerabilities, where attackers can manipulate billing information, leading to fraudulent charges or unauthorized access to mobile money accounts. This not only affects actually individuals, users, but can also cause significant financial harm to the service providers. Data privacy violations are serious consequence of the insecure signaling and radio communication when these channels are not properly secured. Sensitive user data can be exposed, and this exposure not only violates privacy regulations, but also damages the trust users have in mobile money services. Lastly, network spoofing involves attackers spoofing signaling messages or radio signals to impersonate legitimate users or service providers. These type of attacks facilitate various fraudulent activities, making it easier for the attackers to execute their malicious plans. Actually, these diverse and sophisticated attack types highlight the importance of securing mobile money services against threats in both signaling and radio communication. And understanding these risks is the first step towards implementing the effective security measures and maintaining the trust of the users in the mobile money service. Here, where operators increasingly using USSD service to reach various services, providing a convenient and cost-effective way to interact with customers directly. This method allows users to access banking, recharge accounts, and perform mobile money transactions through simple codes dialed from their phones. However, despite its widespread use and benefits, USSD has its vulnerabilities. One significant risk is, of course, the USSD manipulation through signaling attacks. When attackers exploit the weaknesses in the signaling system, they can intercept and manipulate the USSD messages. This manipulation poses a severe threat to mobile money service, for instance, information, or even alters the communication between the user and the service provider. This not only jeopardizes the financial security of the users, but also undermines the trust in the mobile money platform. Moreover, a vulnerability in the USSD system can lead to border implication, potentially disrupting all the services reliant on this protocol. And if attackers can exploit these weaknesses, they can cause widespread service outage or execute large-scale fraudulent activity, affecting enormous users simultaneously. So, in conclusion, while USSD provide a powerful tool for operators to interact with customers, it also presents a significant risks that need to be carefully managed. Ensuring the security of USSD communication is crucial to maintaining the integrity and reliability of the mobile money service. And as we proceed, we will explore the measures that can be taken to protect against these vulnerabilities. Another attack scenario which is related to the SMS interceptions. And actually, the number of services utilizing SMS as a second factor authentication is steadily increasing. This widespread adoption underscores the importance of SMS in enhancing security for various applications, including mobile money banking, account logins, and of course, mobile money transactions as well. However, it also makes SMS a prime target for attackers with significant implications for the security and the privacy of the subscribers. So SMS interception is a major vulnerability that can lead to a substantial losses, where attackers can intercept SMS messages, particularly those containing the one-time password used for second factor authentications. And this allows them to bypass security measures and gaining unauthorized access to the accounts and leading to financial fraud and data breaches. There are several methods by which SMS interception can occur. One common technique is through the radio access network using fake base stations where attackers set up a fake BTS to trick mobile devices into connecting to it, enabling them to intercept SMS messages and other communication. Another method involves cracking encryption keys of weak algorithms used on some network, allowing the attackers to decrypt intercepted messages. Additionally, SMS interception can be also achieved through vulnerabilities in the SS7 signaling protocol, where attackers can exploit the SS7 messages to perform unlawful location updates. For example, by doing so, they can manipulate the home network into redirecting the incoming SMS messages to the attacker's device, effectively intercepting these messages without user knowledge. Without user knowledge can be a great harm, of course. Also, SMS injection is another significant threat to the security of mobile money services. These techniques involves unauthorized sending of SMS messages, often through the SMPP protocol or SS7 signaling. Typically, companies use SMPP or SS7 to send legitimate messages such as transaction alerts or promotional messages, which are built by the company. However, attackers can gain SMPP access through compromising the VPN connections. And once they have this access, they can inject fraudulent SMS messages into the signaling network. These messages can bypass the billing system, effectively sending messages for free and tricking subscriber into believing the messages are from their legitimate e-wallet provider. So imagine receiving a message that appears on to be from your e-wallet provider, asking you to click a link to confirm a transaction. If the message looks authentic, most people would likely trust it and click on the link. And this trust can be exploited by attackers to carry out phishing attacks, steal personal information, or install malware on the victim device. So the implications of the SMS injections are severe, and it not only undermines the trust of the users have in their service provider, but also expose them to various forms of fraud and identity theft, where attackers can use these methods to manipulate users into revealing sensitive information and leading, of course, to unauthorized transactions and financial losses. Now moving to some real cases, showcases, which case have it on the real life. So walking through a typical e-wallet fraud campaign that security gen experts have identified in various countries. And actually this slide outlines the steps that attackers use to compromise an e-wallet accounts and steal their funds. The first step involves the social engineering, where attackers gather information about the exact e-wallet service provider. The user subscribes to send compiles a list of the user's friends. And this is often achieved through deceptive techniques such as phishing, where the user is tricked into revealing personal details. Next, users the victim mobile number to disclose their MC. And actually, this identifier is considered personal data under GDPR, and obtaining it is crucial part of the attack. So with the MC and other gathered information, the attacker initiates a PIN reset for the victim's e-wallet account. They retrieves the two-factor authentications credentials needed to complete this reset, effectively compromising the account. And once the attacker has access to the e-wallet, they use the stolen credentials to order a money transfer from the victim mobile account, and this results in unauthorized funds being sent to the attacker's account. Finally, compromising the e-wallet account, the attacker can access the transaction history and request money even from the other e-wallet links to the victim, and this further exacerbates the financial losses and fraud. So talking about the preventive measures, MNOs can prevent this type of fraud by protecting their network from the vulnerabilities identified, especially in step 2 and 3. And the recommended short-term action is blocking to the global title range used by the intruder, and this range should be monitored for any active services and blocked at the current network. So by understanding and addressing these steps, MNOs can significantly reduce the risk of e-wallet fraud and protect their users from financial losses. So another example, recently we have received a request from a customer in Africa and to investigate the fraud case involving the air interface. During our investigation, we found several factors contributing to subscriber cloning, such as repeatedly using the same MC or TMC in multiple transactions. And this can significantly increase the possibility of subscriber cloning. And this practice creates vulnerabilities that attackers can exploit to duplicate users' mobile identity. Also, the lack of encryptions or the use of weak encryption algorithms further increase the risk without strong encryption, sensitive information such as MC and TMC can be easily intercepted by attackers and make it easier for them to clone the subscriber. So actually, the cloned subscribers are subjected to various fraudulent activities where attackers can intercept incoming text messages in which may contain critical information like the one-time passwords, and they can also manipulate the USSD requests to execute unauthorized commands and compromising the security and the privacy of the victims. So our findings highlighted the need to strong security measures to prevent subscriber cloning, like implementing robust encryption protocols and monitoring for unusual transactions patterns, which are essential steps in protecting subscribers from such fraudulent activities. So talking about the security programs that can be applied to protect or identify the vulnerabilities that related to the mobile money services. Among many security audits programs that SecurityGen provides, several enables MNOs and service provider to identify vulnerabilities and weaknesses in their infrastructure. This program helps in taking the right mitigation actions and enhancing the security status. Some key programs like the 5G security program or signaling security assessment, SIP security assessment, and other assessments that can identify those vulnerabilities. However, mobile money fraud detection is one of the major programs we introduce to specifically address the vulnerabilities impacting mobile money services. And this program focuses on detecting and preventing fraud in SMS, USSD, RAN, and signaling protocols as well. So ensuring the security in the trustworthiness of the mobile money transactions. So going to this program in details. The mobile money fraud security assessment is targeted security evaluation focusing on SMS and USSD related services via the S7 signaling network, where we are using our reach and attack simulation platform. And we can send attack messages through the IBX connectivity to the targeted network for testing purposes, of course. This is, of course, done without impacting the service or any live subscriber. And these assessments simulate various attack scenarios, such as those we have mentioned previously, to study the network's reaction and identify the vulnerabilities. The platform generates an automatic report detailing the security score, compliance status, and the specific information on whether the network was protected or vulnerable to these attacks. And the report also provides a comprehensive details such about each simulated attack and the recommended mitigation actions to enhance network security and protect against future threats. This actually seems like a proactive approach, helps to ensure the integrity and safety of mobile money service. So talking into details about the assessment, our SMS and USSD fraud assessment focuses on identifying and mitigating risk associated with SMS and USSD, such as SMS phishing, where attackers use phishing techniques to send fraudulent e-wallet-related SMS messages and tricking user into revealing sensitive information. Also, SMS firewall bypassware, hackers can bypass the SMS firewall, leading to SMS spam, phishing attacks, and unauthorized access for the SIM toolkit in the A2P messages service. SMS interception, where it involves the interception of the one-time password messages, committing fraud against the e-wallet clients, and hijacking internet service and the applications. On the other hand, also executing USSD commands on behalf of subscriber, where attackers can execute USSD commands such as pin reset and sending money on behalf of other subscriber, leading to unauthorized transaction and the potential financial losses. So in a nutshell, our assessment program simulates these attack scenarios, evaluates the network response, and provides the detailed report on vulnerabilities and recommended mitigation actions to enhance the security and protect against these threats. Other assessment related to the air interface, where the security assessment focusing on identifying and mitigating threats related to mobile networks interface, about some aspects like obtaining sensitive information, where attackers can capture sensitive information such as IMSI and TIMSI, session encryption keys or service messages, and the subscriber traffic from the radio access network. And the using of this information, can perform various malicious activities, including SMS interception and USSD manipulation. Talking about the SMS interception and USSD manipulations that involves intercepting to capture the OTP and manipulating the USSD commands to perform unauthorized actions like pin receipt and money transfers. Subscriber cloning attacks can use the obtained information to clone subscriber identities, leading to the unauthorized access and usage of the mobile money service. So in conclusion, our RAN security assessments simulate these attack scenarios, evaluate the network defense mechanism, and provide detailed reports on these vulnerabilities, along with, of course, with the recommended actions to enhance the security and integrity of the mobile communication. So to summarize, how the mitigation actions that can be taken on user side and the network side as well from mobile network operators. From user side, always enabling a multi-factor authentication on your e-wallet account required to provide even 2 or more verification factors to gain access, such as password and one-time code sent to mobile device. Actually, this adds an extra layer of security, making it significant hard for the attackers to gain unauthorized access, even if they have the password. Another thing is avoid unrecognized app installation from untrusted or unknown sources, or unrecognized app might contain malware that can execute remote codes, compromising your device and personal information. And it's recommended to stick to the official app stores and verify the authenticity of the applications before installation. Talking about the recommendation from the mobile network side, it's recommended, of course, to prevent the control signal message vulnerabilities, which involves on SMS interception. They implement strong encryption protocols for SMS transmission to prevent interception, and regularly update and monitor SMS firewalls to detect and block unauthorized access attempts. Also, the USSD manipulation prevention by securing the USSD channels by using strong authentication mechanism and the encryption, and monitor the USSD traffic for unusual patterns. And that might indicate the manipulation attempts, of course. Ensure all the communication, including those over-the-air interface, use up-to-date and robust encryption algorithm, and this will protect the sensitive information such as the MC and TMC from being intercepted. Also, it's recommended to continuously monitor the network traffic for unusual activities or patterns that could indicate a fraud technique. And the use of the advanced analytics and the machine learning techniques to detect and respond to the potential threats as well. Last but not least, of course, to conduct regular security audits to identify and address vulnerabilities in the network infrastructure and ensure all systems and protocols are updated to the latest security standard to protect against emerging threats. So by implementing these comprehensive measures on both user and MNOs can significantly reduce the risk of fraud and enhance the security mobile money service in protecting both personal and financial information from malicious attacks. So thank you so much for your time and attending this webinar. And actually, it's time for the Q&A. So let's give time.
Thank you so much, Mahmoud. Let's wait for a few questions. Okay, we already have one or two already. So okay, all our SMPP connection are over secure VPN. So that should be enough to prevent us from SMS injection. Is it the case?
Yeah, it's a good question actually. So while using SMPP over a VPN connection adds a layer of security, the source of the messages can still be compromised. So if the systems or the servers that send the SMS messages are breached, the attackers can inject a fraudulent messages into the network. And this means that even with a secured VPN connection, the integrity of the SMPP connection relies on the security of the originating source. Ensuring that the source systems are secured and monitored for any unusual activity is crucial actually to prevent SMS injection attacks.
Okay.
Second.
3 or 4, one related to end user. Let me start first with the one related to how can regular security audits help in preventing subscriber cloning and other frauds?
Sorry, repeat the question again.
Yeah. How can regular audits help in preventing cloning and other similar fraud?
Yeah. Okay. So the regular security audits are critical for identifying and addressing the vulnerabilities within the network infrastructure. So by systematically reviewing and testing the security measure in place, MNOs can detect weaknesses that could be exploited by attackers. And the security audits actually helps to ensure that encryption protocols are up to date, like what we have said, and signaling vulnerabilities are mitigated. And the unusual patterns. Yeah.
Let's say before launching a service could be a good
of course. In the before the production phase and the introducing the service to the customers, it's very important to ensure the security of the ecosystem itself. And this can be happened by the assessment before launching.
Okay, so one before and then it can be a mix of whenever there is a report, whenever there is a suspicion, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So we have few more questions, but they are more related on the end user, meaning that what are common social engineering tactics used to gather information for e-wallet fraud?
Okay.
And also one similar, how can users identify if they are victim of such fraud?
Okay. So let's answer the first one about the social engineering. A common social engineering tactics include phishing, where attackers send fraudulent emails or messages pretending to be from a trusted source to trick users into revealing personal information. Other tactics including phishing, which is the voice phishing, where attackers call the victim pretending to be from their e-wallet provider and smashing SMS phishing, where fraudulent SMS messages are sent to gather sensitive information, where attackers may also be pretexting, creating a fabricated scenario and to pursue the victim to share this their personal information. So how the user can identify if they are victims of e-wallet fraud or subscriber clone? The user can look for several signs indicating e-wallet fraud or subscriber cloning. This includes receiving unfamiliar SMS messages or notification, experiencing unusual account activity such as unauthorized transaction, being able to make or receive calls or text due to inactive or duplicate or notifying changes in their account settings that they didn't initiate. If any of these signs are present, users should immediately contact their service provider and they change their account credentials, including PINs and the password.
Thank you so much, Mahmoud. So I think we're about to close. Thank you so much. Thanks to the audience as well. So, I am looking after the region in terms of sales and development, and Mahmoud is our expert. If you have any question, you will receive the documents with our emails, and you can also use contact@secgen.com. Yeah, that's about it.
Also worth to mention that the recording for the webinar will be posted on the LinkedIn page and of course will be sent to the attendees as well. And feel free if you have any question afterwards to direct it to our contact mails. Thank you so much all.